picture I could see if I just close my eyes. Have the foresight to believe time don't move backwards, it speeds to the future fearlessly. Charging forward when I open my mouth, though I may not know how. I know I was born to sing. Travel the world, raise baby girls, bury my best friend. I'm manifesting, but not concerned. 'Cause whatever happens, I'm good. I'm good. Actually, more than good. Kinda great. Even on the bad days, I thank God for making me brave. Living free. Wanna die when I'm 123. Really wish that all my heroes would notice me, so I could be one of the greats on a big stage, inspiring people to pray and give thanks. 'Cause somehow we made it. We're always broke.
Hey guys, okay, so I just kind of wanted to fill you in on what was going on around here. It has been an absolute crazy 24 hours. So yesterday, what's today, Friday, so Thursday, we got home to Knoxville on Saturday. That's when we discovered that our backyard had been robbed and that our basement was full of mold. So that started the whole week of chaos and just total craziness. But so we contacted our landlord, called the police, filed a police report, all of that, told our landlords about the mold. There's a lot to the whole situation with the landlords, but I'm going to skip over some of that. We went about the rest of the week. Mike and I were out looking for houses every day, looking online every chance we got. I felt really unsettled and just had like a lot of nerves because I didn't know. I just hate that state of limbo, like not knowing what to do. Like part of me felt like I should start packing. But then we weren't sure if the landlords were going to let us out of the lease and if we were going to find something else to move into. And I just didn't know really what to do. So that whole week was pretty much, or those few days were pretty much just full of nerves and just a lot, you know? So anyway, so yesterday morning, Thursday, I started out like a normal morning. Oh, and I should mention that on Tuesday, we had actually found a house that we really liked. And so we had put in our application for that home, paid the application fee and the whole thing. But we continued to look for other houses in case that one fell through. This is a hot market here in this area. I'm not sure how it is wherever you are, but right here it's a hot market for buying, for selling, for renting, all of it. Which is why we haven't been able to find a home or a property for purchase, because the prices are just ridiculous right now. Rental prices as well, but I would rather overpay for rent on something that I don't really love than overpay for a home or a property that I don't really love. So that's not what we're looking to do. Anyway, so we had to put in this application, and that was on Wednesday or Tuesday, and we hadn't heard anything back. They said it usually takes about 48 hours. So on Thursday, I was really hoping that yesterday, that would be the day that we would find out. And really just praying that that house would go through, because we actually really loved that house. So yesterday started like a normal day. I was just doing like our normal routine, and the landlords had told us that they had a mold company coming out. Basically, the short version of this is that this is not the first time we had experienced mold in the house. Never this heavy, never anything like what happened when we came home from our trip. But there had been times where we had seen like mold in a window seal or mold in a corner, different things like that. Sorry, this phone is just not going to stop. And so we had reported that mold to them each time, and then we would clean it with the bleach solution and the whole thing. And we just kind of had chalked it up to there were some windows in the house that like condensated, and we just thought, well, it's probably coming from that, or the home isn't like sealed perfectly. It's, you know, an older home, those things happen. Also, we live in Knoxville, which is like a temporal rainforest. So anyway, so the landlords had scheduled this mold company to come out and do like an investigation. And long story short, they were pretty much blaming us for the mold. So they were saying that, oh, well, we've never experienced mold in that house, and there's no excessive moisture and whatever else in the house. And now up until this point, we've never had an issue with these landlords. They've always been kind. But this situation from the get-go just wasn't going well. And we explained to them, no, we've like brought this to your attention. We have it in writing with pictures multiple times that we've experienced this throughout the home. Never to this level, but we have. So anyway, I mean, there was like everybody, like there wasn't any name calling or anything like that, but both sides, we were having pretty heated conversations, like even to the point where both sides mentioned a lawyer, because it felt like that it could take that turn. And we weren't going to back down from that, and we definitely don't want to wind up in court, but we knew that there was nothing we had done that could cause what was happening here. Like, there's just no way. And not to mention, we take extremely good care of every home we live in, whether we own it or not. That's just who we are, and how we live. So this mold company came out yesterday. They were supposed to be here at 2. They showed up at 1, which was fine. And if you've never rented a home before, you might not know that, like, typically if the owners of the home send someone out, that person is not free to discuss what's going on with you, because you're not the one who hired them, basically. So this guy comes to our house. We find out through conversation that he kind of already knew the story, which, you know, one can only assume is that we caused this mold and whatever. So we show him all of the areas in the home, some of them that still had the mold, you know, some of the spaces that we had contacted the landlords about months prior. And then we showed him the basement and everything that had happened down there. And he had like a reader, like a moisture reader and thing for like mold. And basically he holds it up to like the baseboard area of outside walls. And he said, I believe he said anything over 10 is considered an issue that needs to be fixed, and that his meter only reads 250. He said most commonly when there's moisture in the home and they have mold, he sees about between like 16 and 18 is usually the numbers that he's getting. So he held it to the wall in the teen's bedroom, which is where the mold had really, really gone. That's where it was covering everything. And it went to like almost 30 instantly. There was other spots in the basement. It like topped out at 50. So this was like a telltale sign that clearly there was nothing that we had done. They had, when they redid the basement here, they had built up the floor over the cement. And if you know anything about basements, that there's a reason people don't do that, because if you build up the floor over the slab or the foundation, then if there is water leaking in, you know, as basements can do, it's running underneath that floor, basically, where you cannot, you can't see it. So long story a little bit shorter, that is basically what has been happening. So the guy could only give us so much information, you know, he couldn't tell us everything. But he basically told us, and then through the explaining of the meters and what he normally sees and what's a lot, and he did tell us the numbers and things like that, he said, this is a dangerous situation. You need to get your kids out of here immediately, pretty much. So that was very upsetting for a lot of reasons. We knew there was mold. We knew there was some moisture issues, clearly, after coming home to that situation. But honestly, like, I could not stop crying. I just felt like such a bad parent, like that we had put our kids in a situation that wasn't safe. And obviously, like, no, we had no way of knowing that, and this had never happened before, so there wasn't. But you know, like, as a mom, you want to obviously always provide a safe space for your kids, and I just was really devastated by that. Plus, then there was that instant fear of, you know, we have to leave right now, and then what do we do, and how do we do that, and all of that. So it was just a lot. So anyway, right after that guy left, the mold guy left, we got a phone call from the place, and that we did not get that house. It wasn't because of anything, because of us, so that was the good thing. It was basically that someone had applied first, and they got approved before we did. So that's just how it works with those rental management companies. So then I cried harder because then I really felt like hopeless, and it was just a bad day, you know. So my husband and I, by the time all of this happened, it was probably 3:30. About 2 months ago, when we were traveling on the road, we knew that it was, you know, we knew that our lease was ending. We weren't sure what we wanted to do as far as renewing, because we really want to purchase a home or land here. And so we had tossed around the idea of, what if we just stay in the Knoxville area, but stay in our camper, save even extra money during that period of time, and continue looking like for a place to buy. So we had tossed around that idea, and because we had tossed around that idea, I had called every campground within a hour radius, well, maybe not hour, like 45-minute radius of where we currently are. We couldn't really go further than that because our kids' sports and the things like that, we didn't want to be driving, you know, 15, 20 hours a week for that stuff. And none of those places had availability for any length of time, like definitely not a seasonal, no monthly, and they could get us in for a week here, but then we'd have to not have a place for like a week or two, and then we, you know, things like that. It wasn't going to work. So we were like, okay, well, scratch that idea. That's when we had kind of shifted our mind back to, we'll renew for another 6 months, and then, you know, go from there. So when all of this happened yesterday, obviously our first thought was that we would, okay, well, at least we have the camper. And then we quickly remembered, oh wait, there's nowhere to stay here, you know? So as soon as I could stop crying, which I am not even normally a crier, I think that was just that, the culmination of this entire week and all the stress that has been, you know, that has brought with it. And then finding out that our home was not safe, we needed to leave immediately, and that we didn't get that house all within like a 30-minute period. It was just, on top of lack of sleep, was just like more than I could handle, you know, and I just had to have like a release. And so once I got myself together, I started calling campgrounds, no availability, no availability, no availability, or people just wouldn't answer. And then I finally got a hold of one, and they said, we do have something at, you know, short term, but we can get you in for a week and possibly a week or two after that. So we said, awesome, we'll take that. We have to leave today, you know. So all of this was around like 3:30, 3:45 in the afternoon. I had already been up since 5 in the morning. And so it was just like a lot. And then, so Mike and I decided like, yep, we have to do this. So in a matter of 3 hours, we basically tore our entire house apart, loaded up our camper, as if we were going to be living in it. And you guys had seen the mess from unloading. So you guys know that that's like a lot. And we were at a new campground within 3 hours. We wanted our kids out of this space immediately. we just felt like they had already been exposed to it, and we just wanted them out, you know. At this point, we still had not heard back from the landlords, you know, so we're also still dealing with, are we actually going to be sued for this? Like, you know, even though we knew now that clearly it wasn't our fault, we never thought it was our fault, but you know, there's just that in the back of your mind. Are they going to release us from this lease like we ask? Are they going to fight us, you know, financially with, you know, what they would owe us and all of that? So all of that was still going on, but we got out and we got to the new campground and we got set up, and it was late, probably, well, it was almost like 9 o'clock. I had to go pick up Bella from her volleyball, and on the way home, I saw the email come through from the landlords, and it was saying that they had received their report. They fully apologized to us, which I thought was very nice. Said that we had been great renters, and that they were completely releasing us from this lease and all financial responsibility, and that then they would also be returning our funds, you know, from like how you pay first, last month, security deposit, all of that, that they would be returning all of that to us as well. And we have that all in writing. So that was a huge blessing. So I feel like the day just started so bad, and everything that could go wrong felt like it was. And then things just really started picking up in the right direction. So we knew that the Lord was opening doors for us. And I just felt, once we got that letter from them, I felt 1,000 times better. I felt so much better just getting to the campground and knowing, okay, no matter what happens, at least we have our home on wheels that we are very comfortable in. We just came off the road. It's still pretty well stocked, you know, it's familiar, all of those things. So that took off a huge burden. And then getting that email last night was just like the best thing that could have happened. I slept like a baby last night. I had no stuff going on in my head, just total thankfulness. So today, fast forward to today, I got up again early this morning. I was at the house by 6 a.m. because, you know, we didn't pack our stuff or anything like that. We still have to pack, get all of this stuff in storage, and until we find where we're going to live, be it a rental, purchase, whatever works out. We don't know yet. But we were still in a situation with the campground of like, really only having a week, possibly 2 or 3, and feeling like really we need to find something quickly, and it just wasn't looking like that might happen. So I still had that in the back of my head, but much better. And then, so last night, I just want to tell you guys this because it's such a cool thing. Last night when we got to the campground, there was a guy who was parked next to us, and him and my husband started talking, and my husband was explaining to him what had happened with our house, and that we couldn't find like a place to go for a month. And the guy was like, oh, I've been looking for a monthly rental too, and I just had 2 open up, and I decided to take the one, but the other place called me yesterday and left me a message saying that they now have a spot for me. This is huge because, like I said, when I was calling before, they were telling me, no, these spots book up a year in advance. So there was like no chance of getting those spots. And he said, you can give them my name and tell them that I have gone with another place, and you guys can have my site if they'll let you. And so Mike told me all this and gave me his name, and I thought, I don't know if they'll do that, you know, or how that works, but how generous of him to even share that information with us. So they didn't open until noon today. So I came here, I've just been busting my tail all morning trying to get this house ready for a move. And then as soon as it hit, my goal was to actually be there at 12 because this campground is kind of known for not always answering their phone. And so I was just going to show up at noon when they opened. I wound up getting busy with this stuff, and I was on my way a little bit later than planned, but I was driving when it turned 12 o'clock. So I called instantly. The lady answered the phone. I explained to her everything, you know, this guy, what his name was, what he said. And she was so sweet. And she was like, absolutely, yes, we'll let you have a spot. Like, any chance you can come today, we'll get you right in. Like, just everything. And it was such a blessing. So another reason that this getting like a monthly spot is important is because once you are secured a monthly spot here, it is basically your spot until you decide to leave. So if that's a year, then it's a year. This particular campground is open year round. So we don't have to worry about a certain time frame. We can really take our time, find the right place for us, and we have the comfort of our camper in the meantime. So not at all what we thought was going to happen, but such a blessing, and that we're safe there, and it's a safe space for us to be in as far as the mold and everything else. And so that was just a huge, huge blessing. And the other thing about that makes it such a big blessing is that the place we're at now, they don't have a monthly rate because it's not a monthly site. So you're basically paying per night. And getting this monthly site is far less than half of what it would cost us a month to pay per night at the other place that we were at for a week. So it's a blessing financially. It's just a blessing all the way around. So today I just really feel like God is putting the pieces together. I wanted to share that with you guys. I have been hustling around here. I am going to take you guys around the house and show you. I still have a lot to do. I'm here by myself. My husband is working today, and I initially thought I'll come in the morning, get as much as I can, and then come back and get the kids, and then, you know, we'll all get stuff done. But I realized that when you are working alone, you can get a lot done, like a lot done, when you don't have, you know, little ones following you around and making messes as you're putting things away and asking for snacks and needing to stop and feed them and all the things, change diapers, all the things that come with kids. And that is all wonderful on a normal day-to-day basis, but like when you're really in a crunch time and you don't have a choice and you have a lot of stuff to do, you can get so much more done when you're by yourself. So I learned that quickly, and I told my husband, I'm going to leave the kids there with you for the rest of the day, and I am just going to bust this stuff out. So that's what we agreed to do. And then, so our plan for today is for me to kind of get everything ready. We don't have boxes or anything like that. And then tomorrow, Mike and I will come together. There's a few little repairs he has to do around the house, just minor things. And then we're going to clean like just the floors. The house is clean. We just want to do like one last thing. And then I want to do some touch-up paint. So I'm also going to remove any nails or screws that I put in, fill those today so that tomorrow when we come, I can sand them and touch those up. And then tomorrow we will have boxes, and we will just basically take the stuff that I already pulled out and put it into a box. So it should be super easy. And then Sunday will be our day that we are actually moving. And my son was able to get some of his basketball friends over here for Sunday. And then we will actually load it up and take it to storage. So overall, this has been a very stressful, very hectic, very chaotic last 5 days that has turned into a blessing. And we are seeing the Lord work, and it is very cool. And I just feel 1,000 times lighter than I did before. So anyway, just wanted to fill you guys in. I'm going to show you guys what the house looks like right now. It looks crazy, but it is organized chaos for sure. And I'm trying to set it up in a method so that when we do get a house, we can easily pull things from storage and move into the new home. So I will let you see what we got. Okay, I just thought I'd show you guys. Actually, I don't know what time it is. Okay, it's 8 o'clock at night. I have been here for 14 hours today, and this is what we have done. So all of these bags right here, and the blanket and that pot are going to the camper. This is food. All of this stuff is storage. And then that's just my purse and camera bag. This is some things that are going to the camper. This is now our trash pile. Definitely bigger. This is our donate pile. This is my stash of organizers. Clearly I have a problem, but I love to organize. And then we got this closet cleared out completely. Added a bunch more decor items over here that have all been washed. And then baskets and just some more different kinds of organizer bins. And then in the bathroom, I did clean out the baskets. Those baskets stay with this unit, and the mirror. So the only thing left in here is the shampoo, and then a couple towels and rags in case we need to shower here. Let's see, I didn't do anything else in the girls' room except for I did take all the screws out of all of the walls upstairs and patched those. So, and then this is what this room is looking like. these are some bags that have like shoes and coats in case I haven't done downstairs yet. So in case I find more, I just want to leave those open. Same with this. This is just extra bedding. And I think there's some more downstairs. So I just want to make sure. But this room is getting full. All the rugs over here. And then this closet, I got everything from the top. I still have to do these games, that stuff that stays here. And then just a couple hand towels. This is some stuff I have to ask Mike about right here. So I actually need a roll of paper towels, so I'm going to grab this roll. And then, let's see, my bedroom, we got the bed all taken apart, so that's right here. Filled, or took all the screws out, the curtain hardware, and filled all the holes. So tomorrow when I come, I will sand all of those down and do the touch-up paint throughout the whole first floor because I filled all the holes. So that is that. And then here in the kitchen, this is just random stuff. As I was cleaning, I found some Christmas items, and my Christmas stuff is downstairs, or holiday stuff, I should say. This is the food I believe I showed you guys earlier that will eventually go to the camper. In here, it looks a million times better. I was able to put all of this stuff where it belongs, and then all of this is still stuff that'll go into boxes along with the dishes, and this is just stuff I'm still working on, and I need to find the buckets for the einkorn and wheat berries. And then in here, all cleared out except the ketchup. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that. And I did get most of this fridge. I didn't even touch this freezer. And then I got most of this freezer. I'm so thankful we didn't do our once a month shopping yet. Oh my goodness, that would have been a nightmare. And then most of this fridge is cleared out too. I left like my little turkey sticks and just, it's just, I'm over it. So I am not doing any more tonight. It's been a long day, but I feel like so much has been accomplished. So I will be back tomorrow for day 2.